Hi everyone, my name is Michaela. I wanted to share my story with you guys. I'm going to warn you guys now. There is mentions of suicide attempts, self-harm, and abuse. So I was born October 24th, 1999 to my parents, Evelyn Elliott at the time, and Jason Woodard. My mom was 19 when she had me, and I do believe my dad was 18. Unfortunately, due to relationship problems, they split up. I was taken from my mom at age 2. Sorry, this is hard. I grew up not really knowing much about my mom. All I knew was she did alcohol and stuff like that when I was a baby. At age 7, which I know that seems really young, was the first time I came in contact with how cruel the world really could be. My great aunt's son, Jimmy, put his hands really close to my private parts, kissed me on the lips, and told me not to tell anyone. Well, I was scared to tell, but I told my great aunt. She called the police. He is probably still in prison to this day because they found evidence of kiddie porn and things like that. After that, we moved down to Missouri, which I was short at the time. I was shorter than what I should have been. I was very heavyweight. I didn't know much, so I was called at school all the names. I was called stupid, I was called ugly, I was called fat, I was called midget, I was called all of that. I was even called Oompa Loompa a couple of times because I was literally fat and I was short. And with me having ADHD and everything, that kind of triggered even more bullying. I eventually, at the age of 9, my great aunt Linda was calling me names and everything. I tried to kill myself by going like this. That was my first suicide attempt. I tried to strangle myself. My face turned blue by the time the paramedics were called. Well, not really paramedics. By the time the mental hospital was called, I was put in a mental hospital by midnight that night. I stayed there 3 months, which means I was there past hell, because I was in September, so I was there till almost Thanksgiving. After that, I got out and my life was hell again. I eventually, around 13, started threatening to commit suicide again. Got thrown back in another couple months. They always promised, hey, it's only gonna be a week or so. Never really was. Then again, I kept getting physically ill because I was always thrown in somehow during flu season. And once I got out of there, my great aunt, who was already mentally abusing me at home, trying to make me into the perfect person, and I wasn't, gave me to her ex-daughter-in-law, which was her daughter-in-law of when she was married to the man who first molested me. And there I was getting physically abused. Her husband at the time was sexually abusive to me, tried to force me to have sex with him, touched me in inappropriate places. I threatened to make me wish I was never born if I ever told anyone about it. I was still getting mentally abused there, being called stupid, worthless, all of that. When I was hoping that I had finally found a family, I eventually couldn't take it no more. I've had found my mom not long after I moved into them anyways. And I talked to my mom, and I eventually moved up to Kansas with her. Well, I was thinking, oh, she's with an actual guy now, and I have like a brother and sister. Maybe I'll actually have a family. Not the case. My brother bullied me. I was bullied because my grades were never too well, because I was overweight, because I was tall at that point, and all that stuff. My stepfather always called me names and things like that. It made me really feel bad about myself. So I was going back into a mental hospital for self-harm. It wasn't really nothing big at the time. It was just, grabbing my nails and going like that, clawing into my skin. It was suicidal thoughts, and also I needed to get diagnosed to see what I really had. I was diagnosed at that point with PTSD, psychotic episodes, bipolar. No, bipolar was at one of the other mental hospitals, and so psychotic episodes, and then ADHD, depression. I got out of there within about, I think it was a week was actually how long that one lasted, because I had went to Marillac. Things was okay for a little bit, till my stepfather started to get drunk again. I eventually couldn't take it no more. I first went through episodes where I would barely even eat, so I was like restricting myself to like, I think at one point it was 300 calories a day. I would try and work out a lot more. It didn't really help me lose weight, because every time I would eat, my body would retain the fat. I eventually stopped eating. For times I would lie saying I was eating at school, and I wasn't really eating. I would get a tray and everything's that way. If they tried to check my lunch account, it showed that I had gotten a meal, but I wouldn't really touch anything off of it unless it was like a couple pieces of salad or something without any ranch. So, something that I can't really gain weight with. I was taking everything hard. We went through a couple stages of homelessness. Eventually, one day, my stepfather's drinking got so bad that I took a wooden cuticle pusher and I had started cutting on my arms. I still have scars to this day near my tattoo where I was self-harming at. You guys can't really see them, but there's like that little dot right there. Those were some of the first cuts I ever made. It started off by just scratching. Eventually, it turned into cutting, and then I got addicted to cutting. People say once you get addicted to something, you swear up and down it's going to be the only time. I swore that too. Eventually it turned into an everyday thing. I was taking a bunch of different meds, over-the-counter meds, just to get high. I was doing Germ-X just to get high because I wanted any escape I could get. I started listening to music. I found a band called Pentatonics, and I would listen to music to help me cope a little bit. That didn't make me stop cutting. I've dated throughout my life, off and on. The first time I found out I liked girls, though, I was 10. I'm not going to say the name of the girl that I fell in love with, but because I don't want her life to be ruined, and also I don't even remember her last name. But we'll just call her Maya. That was not her name, though. But yeah, I fell in love with this girl. We just swore up and down. We was just practicing for when we got boyfriends, everything, because we was just coming into puberty. We was going to start getting boyfriends and love and falling in love and stuff. And eventually I started feeling like love for her. But when I moved away, I didn't ever see her again. And it's like, but yeah, and eventually I couldn't handle it, so I kept cutting anorexia. My stepfather refused to let me go and get actual help by a mental hospital thing. He believed that you didn't need medicine or none of that, and like God could heal it all, and like I was just like faking it and stuff. Not long after that, I couldn't take it anymore. After I had met my boyfriend Chris, he is the one that I currently live with. Don't mind the papers, that's my cat. But yeah, he's one I currently live with. Me and him's been together for going on 10 months soon. But yeah, I moved in with him because we didn't want to lose each other, and I was going to just go live on the streets if I had to. And, sorry, you guys, this is kind of hard for me to speak about. His grandma let me move in with him, and eventually after that, you know, I was kind of a late bloomer, I guess you could call me. They have, you know, my first time with sex and everything until I was 18. Got my first tattoo at 18. I am having a really hard life and everything, but you know, I wasn't really dealing with self-harm. My mental stability went really low, so I was eventually, this previous June, put into a mental hospital. No, it was this previous May. I was put into a mental hospital again. I was there for about a week and a half. No, I was there for about 4 days. Before I came back out, I could have sworn the medicines were working. Eventually, my mental health started declining again. We got kicked out of that grandparents' house. He came with me. We moved to his grandparents on his dad's side house. They took us in. He recently moved out to go back in with his grandmother. That we got kicked out of that. I'm not really allowed to live back over there because of my mental stability. Isn't right. While I was at that hospital, though, I got diagnosed with which it changed from anorexia to not bulimia to binge eating disorder, which means I overeat. That's probably why I gain weight so easily. And insomnia, PTSD, borderline personality disorder, bunch of other things, depression, anxiety, all that good stuff. I have been working with my mental disorders. I take my meds now, things like that. Unfortunately though, since I've started taking all the meds, my physical health started declining more and more. So I'm looking for all natural alternatives. But yeah, I wanted to share my story with you guys because I want you guys to know, no matter what you guys are going through, that you guys can make it out. I went through physical, mental, sexual abuse, mental, like actual my mind trying to abuse me. I've went through me abusing my own body and things like that. And you guys can make it through. It may seem like you guys want to end your life right now. Don't. Please don't. Because let me tell you something. If I can fight through it, I know you guys can too. So if you guys know anyone who needs to hear my story of how I have nightmares every night and everything like that, please subscribe, please like, please comment, and please share with those who need it. Thank you. Bye.